So if you're in the tech world, you've probably felt this. A shift, right? It's like the ground is moving right under our feet. All the old rules about how you get a job, how you move up, they're getting tossed out the window. This is a huge, huge change. And today, we're going to break down exactly what that means for you. A very warm welcome to the Salon. For this session, we're diving deep into one of the biggest currents shaping how we all work. We're talking about a massive transformation in the tech talent market, and really what it means for every single one of us. So where are we getting all this from? Well, our guide for this whole deep dive is a fantastic new report from the Maimai high-end talent think tank. They've crunched a ton of data for their 2025 report, focusing specifically on newcomers to the internet industry. So what we're looking at here is fresh, data-backed insight into where things are really headed. And here's the absolute core of it, the main idea. The game is changing. It's no longer just about what have you done, it's all about what can you do. We're talking about a major shift away from just looking at a resume to focusing on someone's real, raw potential and what they're capable of. All right, so here's our game plan. First up, we'll tackle how hiring is changing. Then we're going to follow the talent and see where everyone's going. After that, we'll get into what really drives this new generation, and to wrap it all up, we'll boil it down to the 3 key takeaways you absolutely need to know. Ready? Let's go. Okay, let's jump right into our first section, hiring. This right here is where the whole revolution really starts. Companies are completely rethinking what a qualified candidate even looks like. And the key concept here, the big idea that's powering this whole shift, is something the report calls delabeling. So what is that? It's basically companies stripping away those rigid, old-school labels. Things like must have 3 to 5 years of experience. They're trying to look past that to see the actual person and their core abilities. And look, this isn't just some nice-sounding theory. The data in the report totally backs this up. The researchers found that at all the big tech companies, the number of job postings with flexible experience requirements, or none at all, has been climbing and climbing. The message is clear. The gates are opening up for people with skills, not just a long resume. I love this quote because it just nails the new mindset, right? Finding the true achievers, not just the labels. It's a hunt for the people who can actually deliver, the ones who get things done, no matter what their background looks like. It's all about potential over pedigree. So, okay, companies are changing the rules of the game, but where is all this newly empowered talent actually going? That brings us to our second section, where we'll map out this great shuffle happening across the entire industry. First things first, let's just appreciate the scale of what's happening. I mean, look at this. The report found that more than half the entire workforce is on the move. You've got about 12% who've already switched jobs, plus another 39% who are actively gearing up to make a change. That's huge. Sticking around in one place just isn't the default anymore. And that brings up a really interesting question, especially for people just starting out. You've landed a new job, and you quickly realize, this is not the right fit. So what do you do? Well, it turns out the answer really depends on what generation you're from. For older generations, the 90s and 85s folks, over 60% tend to play it safe. They wait and see, look for a new job while they have one. But the youngest generation in the workforce, the post-2000s, they are way more decisive. Almost 19% of them will just quit immediately. If a job isn't right, they are out. They value a good fit way more than just sticking it out. Okay, so you've got all this talent on the move, a whole generation that's not afraid to walk away from a bad fit. So who's winning? There's got to be a top destination, right? A place that's just soaking up all this talent. And yeah, the data could not be clearer on this. Whether you're looking at fresh-faced newcomers or the most experienced pros in the game, the flow is undeniable. Talent is pouring out of places like Tencent, Alibaba, Baidu, and it's all converging on one company, ByteDance. It's basically become the industry's central talent magnet. And if you needed any more proof, just look at what people are searching for. It doesn't matter what experience level you look at. New grads, early career, seasoned pros. ByteDance is the most searched for company by a mile. It's not just one of the places people are going, it's the #1 name on everyone's mind. All right, so we know companies are looking for ability, not just experience. And we know a ton of that talent is flocking to places like ByteDance. But the big question is, why? What's the real bottom line? Beyond the paycheck, what is this new wave of professionals truly looking for? Let's dig in. So, when you ask new grads what they want most in a first job, yeah, no surprise, a good salary and benefits is number one, of course. But look at what comes right after that: a positive culture, a stable company that isn't doing constant layoffs, work that actually aligns with their interests, and a clear path for promotions. You see the pattern? This isn't just about grabbing the first paycheck, it's about building a real, sustainable career from day one. But here's the real kicker. This is the killer insight from the report. When you look at what makes people choose one top-tier company over another, like why pick ByteDance over a different giant, the number one factor that comes up again and again isn't salary. It's career development. That is the ultimate tiebreaker for the best of the best. Okay, but let's be real. Growth can be one of those fuzzy corporate buzzwords, right? So what does it actually mean to this new generation? What does real growth actually look like to them? And luckily, the report gives us a super clear answer. Real growth isn't about sitting in boring training sessions. No! When you ask them, the number one thing newcomers say they need for real growth is, drumroll please, getting to work on important projects and being empowered to actually make an impact. It's about doing meaningful work, not just passively learning about it. Whew, okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So now let's boil it all down. Let's distill everything into the three essential takeaways you need to understand to navigate this new world, whether you're the one hiring or the one looking for that next big career move. So here they are, the three big shifts from the Maimai report. First, hiring is delabeling. For companies, that means you've got to look beyond the resume to find those hidden gems. And for job seekers, it means your potential, your ability is your new superpower. Second, talent is decisive and mobile. Newcomers will not stick around in a bad job, and they have a clear idea of where they want to go. And third, growth is the goal, but not just any growth. For companies, this means offering real responsibility and empowerment is your secret weapon to attract and keep top talent. And for all you job seekers out there, that's what you should be demanding. And that brings us to one final question for you to think about. In this new era where what you've done is becoming less important than what you can do, just take a second and ask yourself, what is my most valuable ability? What's the one thing I bring to the table that no resume can fully capture? Because finding the answer to that, well, that could define the entire next chapter of your career.